Your doctor says you have PCOS and hands you a weight loss plan. But you're dealing with crippling anxiety, your hair is falling out in clumps, and you can't remember the last time you felt like yourself. Here's what they didn't tell you. PCOS isn't just about your weight. It's affecting your mood, your brain, your skin, your hair, and your fertility. The scale is the least of your problems. I'm Kayla, and on this channel we talk about the women's health issues your doctor doesn't have time to explain. Today I'm breaking down what PCOS actually does to your body beyond weight gain, and what you can do about it. Quick disclaimer, I'm not a doctor, this isn't medical advice. Always talk to your healthcare provider about your specific situation. Let's start with what you're feeling right now. The emotional flatness where nothing brings you joy anymore. The anxiety that hits out of nowhere. The irritability that makes you snap at people you love. You're not imagining this, and you're not weak. PCOS creates a perfect storm in your brain. Here's why. When you have insulin resistance, which most women with PCOS do, your cells can't use glucose properly. That means your brain isn't getting the fuel it needs. You end up with brain fog, exhaustion, and this constant feeling that you're moving through mud. But it gets worse. The androgen imbalance that comes with PCOS directly disrupts your neurotransmitters. High testosterone levels interfere with serotonin production. That's your mood stabilizer, your happiness chemical. When it's low, you get depression and anxiety. The elevated androgens also mess with dopamine, which controls motivation and reward. That's why nothing feels worth doing anymore. Then there's inflammation. PCOS creates chronic low-grade inflammation throughout your body, including your brain. Research shows this inflammation is directly linked to depression in women with PCOS. It's not just correlation. The inflammatory markers predict depressive symptoms. Your doctor might say you're stressed. They might suggest therapy or antidepressants without addressing the hormonal root cause. But this isn't about your coping skills or your mindset. Your hormones are literally changing your brain chemistry. Here's what this looks like day to day. You wake up exhausted even after 8 hours of sleep. You can't focus at work and forget basic things. You cancel plans because you can't face people. You cry over nothing or feel nothing at all. You're irritable before your period, except your period doesn't come regularly, so you're just irritable all the time. You sit at your desk staring at the same email for 20 minutes. You're in a meeting and someone asks your opinion and you blank, completely blank, even though you know the answer. You walk into a room and forget why you're there. You snap at your partner for leaving dishes in the sink, then feel guilty because you know it's not about the dishes. You scroll through social media feeling disconnected from everyone's happiness. You make coffee and forget to drink it. You start tasks and abandon them halfway through because your brain just won't cooperate. You wonder if you're depressed, and you probably are, but it's because of PCOS, not despite it. The emotional toll is massive. You start questioning yourself. Maybe you're just lazy. Maybe you're not trying hard enough. Maybe you're making excuses, but you're not. Your body is fighting a hormonal battle every single day, and it's exhausting. Your mood isn't the only thing PCOS disrupts. Let's talk about what's happening to your hair and skin. The hair on your head is thinning. You see more scalp every time you look in the mirror. Meanwhile, you're growing hair everywhere else. Your chin, your chest, your stomach. It's cruel, and it's one of the most visible signs of PCOS. Here's what's happening. High androgen levels cause male pattern hair loss in women. Testosterone converts to DHT, which shrinks hair follicles on your scalp. The follicles get smaller and smaller until they stop producing visible hair. You're not going bald because of stress or bad genetics. It's the excess androgens attacking your hair follicles. At the same time, those androgens stimulate hair growth in places women typically don't grow thick dark hair. That's hirsutism. It's not about being hairy naturally. It's about hormonal imbalance making hair grow in a male pattern. Then there's the acne. Not the occasional breakout. Deep, painful cystic acne that doesn't respond to normal treatments. You've tried every face wash, every cream, every routine. Nothing works because you're treating the surface while the problem is internal. Insulin resistance makes your skin cells multiply too fast and produce too much oil. Your pores get clogged with dead skin cells and sebum. The high androgens make your sebaceous glands go into overdrive. You end up with skin that's constantly oily, inflamed, and breaking out. Normal acne treatments target bacteria or clogged pores, but PCOS acne is hormonal. That's why the typical solutions fail. You can wash your face 10 times a day, and it won't matter if your androgens are elevated and your insulin is spiking. Your skin feels greasy an hour after you wash it. You're embarrassed to go out without makeup. You avoid mirrors and photos. You angle your face in certain lighting. You decline video calls. You wear your hair down to hide your jawline. You've spent hundreds of dollars on products that promised to help but didn't. People tell you to drink more water or cut out dairy, as if you haven't tried everything already. They suggest you're not washing your face enough when you're washing it twice a day with expensive cleansers. They don't understand that no amount of skincare can fix a hormonal problem. You feel judged and misunderstood, like people think you are not taking care of yourself, when you are actually trying harder than they know. The emotional toll of these visible symptoms is brutal. Hair loss and acne affect how you see yourself. You feel less feminine, less attractive, less confident. You avoid social situations. You cancel dates. You wear hats and pile on concealer and still feel exposed. Here's what actually helps, and it's not just losing weight. Yes, weight loss can improve insulin resistance, which can lower androgens. But plenty of thin women have PCOS and deal with the same symptoms. The real solution is addressing the hormonal imbalance directly. Anti-androgen medications can block the effects of testosterone on your hair and skin. Spironolactone is common for this. Metformin improves insulin sensitivity, which can lower androgen production. Birth control can regulate hormones and reduce androgen levels. Topical treatments for hair loss like minoxidil can help regrow hair once you address the underlying hormones. The point is, you need treatment that targets the root cause, not just the symptoms. Your dermatologist needs to know you have PCOS. Your endocrinologist needs to treat more than your weight. These visible symptoms are hard enough. But PCOS also affects something you can't see, your fertility. PCOS is one of the leading causes of infertility in women. Not because you can't get pregnant, but because irregular ovulation makes it incredibly difficult and unpredictable. Normal cycles happen every 21 to 35 days. With PCOS, you might go months without a period. You're not ovulating regularly, and when you do ovulate, it's impossible to predict. That makes conception a guessing game. You can't track your fertile window if you don't know when or if you're ovulating. The frustration is intense. You're trying to conceive, but your body won't cooperate. You take ovulation tests that never show a surge. You track your cycle, but there's no pattern. You download apps that can't predict anything because your data is all over the place. You see pregnancy announcements and feel happy for them, but devastated for yourself. You avoid baby showers. You change the subject when family asks about kids. You feel broken and defective. You watch friends get pregnant easily while you can't even get a regular period. You wonder if you'll ever be able to have kids. The uncertainty is almost worse than a definitive answer because you're stuck in this limbo of not knowing. Even when conception happens, PCOS increases miscarriage risk. The hormonal imbalances that prevent regular ovulation also make it harder to maintain a pregnancy in the early stages. That's devastating. You finally get pregnant and then lose it, and nobody warned you this was part of PCOS. And if you've already experienced a miscarriage because of PCOS, you know this isn't just about statistics. It's about loss. It's about the grief of what could have been, the fear that it might happen again, and the anger that your doctor didn't prepare you for this possibility. That pain is real and valid. Here's the thing. This matters even if you don't want kids right now. Irregular cycles aren't just about fertility. They're a sign that your hormones are out of balance, and that affects your long-term health. Women with PCOS have higher risks of endometrial cancer because the uterine lining builds up without regular shedding. Irregular periods are a warning sign, not just an inconvenience. Treatment options exist that actually address the root cause. Ovulation induction medications like letrozole or clomiphene can help you ovulate regularly. Metformin improves insulin sensitivity, which can restore normal cycles. Lifestyle changes that reduce insulin resistance can bring back regular ovulation for some women. IVF is an option if other treatments don't work. The reality is that PCOS is manageable, not a life sentence. You're not doomed to infertility or irregular cycles forever. With the right treatment, many women with PCOS conceive and have healthy pregnancies. But you need a doctor who understands PCOS and treats it comprehensively, not someone who just tells you to lose weight and hope for the best. So what do you actually do with all this information? PCOS is more than weight. It's systemic and affects your whole body, your mood, your brain, your skin, your hair, your fertility. You're not imagining these symptoms, and they're not your fault. Advocate for comprehensive care that addresses all of this, not just the scale. Track your symptoms. Mood changes, hair loss, acne flares, cycle irregularities, and bring that data to your doctor. Push for treatment that targets the hormonal root cause. If this resonated with you, share it with someone who needs to hear it, especially if they've been told it's just about weight. Subscribe for more real talk about women's health that doctors don't explain.